Hi viewers, my name's Cara. I'm your host for Tuesdays on the Pagan Perspective. I am walking from place to place outside, so pardon the hood, I'm kinda chilly. And this week we are talking about having the right reasons for following a path and what are some good resources for beginners in Wicca. I have printed out the questions and my talking points this time because I don't have very long to record this and I'm not going to have very long to edit it. This is going to be up in afternoon Eastern Standard Time, so sorry, it's going to be Wednesday for some of you. Anyway, the first question is from one of the people who auditioned to be a substitute, Pagan Punk, and they said, recently one of my close friends started exploring Wicca. I personally don't have any problem with her exploring different religious paths, but I feel like she's exploring Wicca for the wrong reasons. I feel like she's spiritually lost, but I'm not sure how to help her. She had some really bad stuff happened to her that made her question her beliefs and her faith in Christianity. On top of that, her parents are adamantly opposed to her exploring Wicca. What can I do to help her? Are there any books or something like that with reliable information about Wicca? The second question is from Apple of Death, and they said they're a newbie to Wicca and was wondering if we had any sites or books that could help a beginner. So I'm going to address Pagan Punk's situation and then talk about sites and books as a response to both of the questions. So the first thing is that I think only your friend can know if she is spiritually lost in the first place. And if she is, I'm not so sure you can do anything to help her, because when a person is spiritually lost, they kind of have to do some discovering and exploring for themselves. So it's great that you want to help, and I like that you want to help, but be prepared for it not to actually have much to do with you. A lot of people turn more toward their religion when really bad things happen to them and not away from it, so it may be that these things causing her to turn away from it means that her faith in the path she was on isn't that strong, and maybe she should be exploring something else. It's possible that she really just does need to explore for a bit, whether that means that she starts a new path because the old one wasn't right, or whether this exploration will strengthen her faith in the path that she was following, Christianity. Either one can happen. Exploring, I think, is good either way because it either reaffirms what you already knew or gives you a new direction. As for parents, I do not condone rebelling for the sake of rebelling and throwing it in your parents' face and doing something just because you know they don't like it. But that being said, most parents would be really upset with someone exploring Wicca, and it's mostly because they don't know what it is. My mom, personally, my mother was really upset and confused and afraid when I told her that I was going to start practicing Wicca. I had actually been practicing it already, and she saw me doing the things that I would do, and she was okay with them, but when I told her it was Wicca, she got really upset and really angry. And I think most parents have that reaction. It's just natural because they don't know what it is, they've been taught that it's really terrible, and so they don't want their kid doing it. But that wasn't a reason for me to stop doing it, because I knew that I just had to tell her what it was. And so when I was able to educate my mother about it, she learned more about it and she realized that it wasn't such a terrible thing. So while I don't agree with taking up Wicca just to annoy your parents, because it is a serious thing and not just a game to be played by teenagers who are trying to be rebellious, I don't think that anyone else should be able to tell you what you believe. And if the only reason you have for not exploring a path is because your parents don't like it, I don't think that's a viable option not to believe what you believe. It is a reason to not do things within their household that they don't want you to do and things like that, but you can believe whatever you want to believe without actually having to practice and wield blades and burn candles in your room and things like that. So there's definitely some compromise there. So basically my point is that being through it where my parents were adamantly opposed to it, I don't think that's a good reason for not at least exploring. And like I said, she might just be reaffirming her faith in Christianity through doing this, but I think maybe if she is lost, she just needs to explore. Maybe Wicca is for her, maybe it's not, but it's at least worth it to learn about it and find out, I think. I have to go to an appointment right now, so I'm going to put the list of books and websites in the description below this video, but I will say right away that the Inner Sanctum is the first website I ever used to learn basics, and About.com's articles about paganism and witchcraft are really helpful as well. And as for books, I always recommend Scott Cunningham, and even though it's more general paganism and directed toward males, I also recommend Dancing Rabbit's The Way of the Horned God. And as always, if it doesn't seem right to you, don't use it. It's as simple as that. Use what you like and ignore the things that you don't. You don't have to listen to every author just because they wrote a book. Okay, so check out my list in the description, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you very much for watching. Blessed be.